got a coconut, she had herself a time. Little sister, little issues, call again, she'll be fine. She put the dime in the coconut and smoked it all up. She put the dime in the coconut and lit the line to lighten up.
All right, check one. Check out my gravel pit, a mystery unraveling, or something. I'm the worst with lyrics. The worst. I always say that in my next life, I want to come back as someone who's good at memorizing song lyrics, which seems to be everybody else. I don't see anyone else struggling like I do with song lyrics. I see a lot of people belting out song lyrics, and I've never been able to do that. So, yeah, next lifetime. I guess I'll see you next lifetime. I've got to stop singing. I'm feeling very singy today. Goodness gracious. Great balls of fire. Okay, now it's problematic. I've got songs and singing on the brain because I'm trying to think about the best way to thank my niece Rita for singing my intro song, especially because she doesn't even know that she did it. I'm a firm believer in if you're trying to attempt something new or start something, any kind of like personal project, keep that shit a secret. Don't tell anyone. For some reason, that's bad luck. I've found that to be true a bunch of times. When I was planning this podcast, I needed an intro song and I needed a singer. My niece Rita is a wonderful singer. So I wrote her some lyrics and I sent them to her. Basically, Ben Affleck'd it. And I was like, I need your help with something. I can't tell you what it's for. Sing this song, send it back to me. A lot of people will get hurt, especially our family members. Don't ask questions. I'll tell you later. That's pretty cool. If someone sent me some lyrics and told me to record them and send them back, no questions asked, I wouldn't do it. There's no way I'd do it. I haven't told anyone in my family about this podcast yet because there's obviously going to be a goddamn mutiny when word gets out. But everyone knew it was coming. Years ago, my mom came up to me and said, please just do me one favor. Never write a book about our family. This isn't a book. This isn't a book. This is a podcast. Back to Rita. I found out actually about this time last year. It was Christmas time last year that I found out that Rita is a bona fide smart person, like a real smart person. And I say real because in my mind, there's two types of smart people. There's my kind. I'm a smart person, but I'm smart in that I know I'm not that smart. I know there are people smarter than me. I know there are people way, way, way smarter than me. Hold on. Oh my God. The phrase is smarter than I am. The phrase is there are people smarter than I am. Son of a bitch. It's not from lack of desire. I do want to be smart. I just can't. Well, moving along, I know I'm not that smart, which is saying something because stupid people think they're smart. I know some people that think they're really smart, and I'm like, you're dead wrong. You're not smart. Have you hung out with you? You don't know jack shit. You're wrong 90% of the time. You just refuse to acknowledge it. So there's dumb people that think they're smart people who know they're dumb, and then bona fide smart people that are smart. Do you follow? Rita is a bona fide smart person. Now, there were hints. She does currently attend Cornell. So, a couple of warning bells had gone off that she was intelligent. Still, as a non-bona fide smart person, I didn't totally grasp it. And then this time last year, we went out to dinner, just the two of us, and I asked her about her classes. And when she told me about her classes, I couldn't follow what she was talking about. I don't even remember the names of the classes because the names didn't make sense to me. And I was like, oh shit, you're actually really smart. Probably why she didn't ask any questions about the song. She was like, I'm dealing with real shit. I don't care about your song. Yeah, whatever. I'll do you a favor. I don't care. I'm going to split the atom this afternoon. No one gives a shit about your podcast. I realized today that I totally misspoke on the last episode. I said that I was really lucky because I hadn't had a lot of Me Too moments. And I need to clarify that statement. I mean, physical assaults. I have been sexually harassed verbally more times than there are stars in the sky. It happens so much that I don't even consider it anymore. It's just water off a duck's back. It's just the way that the world works. And I think probably like 99.9% of girls are just accepting this as a way of life. The sun rises and sets, and guys are going to say inappropriate things. So I went to Dunkin today, which isn't normally my speed. Normally, I'm a home Keurig type person, but my son wanted donuts. I do love a good seasonal winter type coffee. I will splurge on a Christmas themed coffee, which is what I did. I pulled up and immediately saw like peppermint mocha signature latte, and I was like, exactly, yes, all the holiday flavorings. Combine them. Yes, do it. And when I order my drink, I said, I'll get the peppermint mocha latte. And the guy goes, signature? And I was like, is there a non signature? That's already so specific. Peppermint mocha latte, signature versus non signature. There's no way. But I played along and I was like, yeah, signature. And things continue to kind of go south from here. I pull around, he gives me the donuts, but the coffee's not ready, which is odd. It's Dunkin'. Normally, everything happens super quick. Guy's in a great mood, which I really appreciated. I love when takeout people are in a great mood, and I wanted to encourage that. So I said something like, "Hey, how's your day going?" And he's like, "Great. I just got out of school." And I was like, "Oh yeah, you go to high school? This is your after school job?" And he was like, "Yes." And then there was some other mild banter, and my coffee still wasn't ready yet. The red flags had kind of started going off. It had been too long. I feel like when things are late, the person disappears a little bit, but he was right there in the window. I suppose I felt the need to keep talking. So I said, I, I, so maybe this was a stupid thing to say, but I said, what do you So I said, what do you want for Christmas? Keep in mind, we had just discussed that he was in high school. I'm seeing this guy as a kid. You still get presents from your parents when you're in high school. I thought he was going to say an Xbox or something. But what he said was, for you to come. And I was like, what? Which was rhetorical. But then he answered. But this time it sounded more like Yuletide come. In my head, I was like, did he say Yuletide? Is this an old-timey thing? Is this a version of what do you want for Christmas? And the answer is peace on earth. And he said, like Yuletide to come. Is this just a phrase I'm not familiar with? Or did he say what I thought the first time, which was for you to come? And I really wasn't sure. So then I just sat there and stared straight ahead, and we waited in silence for my coffee. Now here's where things go even more southern. His boy comes up behind him, hands him my coffee. He turns to me, hands me the coffee. I say thank you, and I drive away. I start to process what just happened. Something seemed a little sus about the way his friend handed him my coffee. Granted, now I was in a suspicious mindset. I didn't trust the situation. It seemed unstable. So I was probably digging. But it made me remember that at my high school, there was a guy who famously jizzed in a coffee culotta. Major alarm bells were going off. Now I'm thinking, wait, why did my coffee take so long? Why did it take 4 minutes? What else can someone do in 4 minutes? I know exactly what someone can do in 4 minutes, and that's jizz in your coffee. And then I thought back to the way I ordered my coffee and how he said signature. And I was like, yeah, signature. And then I thought, what if these dudes pass the time and keep themselves busy, have a game where if someone says signature, then they jizz in that person's coffee? I did say signature. I was prompted, but I said signature. Yada, yada, yada. I didn't drink my coffee and I don't have any answers. It's possible that a couple really shady things happened at this Dunkin', or it's possible nothing shady at all happened. I don't know.
The Katie Kelly Show.
There is a very real correlation going on right now between my kids' advent calendars and my personal Adderall consumption. We're both going at breakneck speed and no one's making it to the 25th. God damn it. This is not the month to run through your Adderall. This is the month where it'll be the most hard at the end when I'm all out. I'm going to be so fucked. The episode I dropped Monday the 29th, that might just be me crying for 30 minutes. I get so mad at my son about this. For some reason, it's immensely important to me that the advent calendars are opened one a day. I'm not crazy. One a day. It's the first, you open the first. It's the second, you open the second. Anyways, the point of this story is I've been judging the shit out of him. In my mind, like, this motherfucker, this fucking dopamine chasing motherfucker cannot wait a day to open up a new advent calendar. He's doing exactly what I'm doing, but I'm not judging myself. I'm just judging him. And that's called projection. And I love that. And I do that all the time, which is fine because I'm doing it in my head. I'm not saying it out loud. He doesn't know that I think he has a problem, but I do. Also, I don't like the way he opens his boxes. When I had an advent calendar, I would carefully open the window along the perforation. This savage he just rips it and like ruins the little design on the cover. Part of it is the imagery, and then there's the toy. But he's ruined the imagery because he just claws it open like a dope fiend. Speaking of advent calendars, I was in my basement the other day and I found a mindfulness advent calendar that I purchased for myself years ago. It's unopened, obviously. I must have been feeling really optimistic or full of shit that year. I brought it upstairs and I opened it, not to do it, obviously, but for shits and giggles. It didn't fail to amuse me. Here's the first one that I opened. Right out the gate, comedy gold. This one says, for some, the annual writing and sending of Christmas cards is a bit of a chore, done more with a sense of necessity and propriety. I wouldn't have used that word, but anyways, than any real enjoyment. Here are some suggestions. Don't rush through it. Set aside the time to write the cards in a calm and attentive way. For each card, think about the person/people you're writing it to. How did they make it onto your Christmas card list? Take this moment to focus your mind on the bond you have with them and what they mean to you. What? What? First of all, no one is handwriting cards now, and no one's been handwriting cards. What are you talking about? Everyone has theirs printed, Shutterfly. No one's even picking up a pen. That's not happening. This is outrageous. Focus on the goodwill you have for your card's recipients. I have nothing but contempt for 90% of my Christmas card list. My Christmas card list is a compilation of the people that I talk shit about. I mean, I'm just sending these so they know I'm alive and I can kind of make it look like I'm doing well. I'll just read one more line. Think specifically about the compassion each person inspires in you. Whoa, maybe I'm hanging out with the wrong people. All right, one more. Notice the physical elements of the activity, the feel of the pen in your hand, the smoothness of the card's surface, the taste of the envelope seal. Who wrote this? Who wrote this? Taste of the envelope seal. That's a little pervy. Jesus Christ. All right. First of all, if you did this, if you did each Christmas card with an individual note that was prefaced with a 10-minute meditation on the bond with that person, that would take 3 months. That would be insane. The Christmas cards would never go out. This is like serenity now, insanity later. This is terrible advice. Terrible advice. If anyone did this, they'd end up in a psych ward. Awful, awful advice. And I've got some good news for you guys. This story ends with a good old fashioned Christmas miracle. A day after I opened that mindfulness crap, I got a handwritten Christmas card in the mail from my mom's friend, Diane Ward. Diane, you are a legend and an inspiration. Here's a fun Christmas card story. I think this happened 2 years ago. I was talking with my sister and my oldest brother, and I said to them, "Isn't it so funny that the house we grew up in was number 11? And now, Billy, you live in a house that's number 11, and Cindy, you live in a house that's number 11? That's such a fun coincidence." And then Cindy goes, "My house is 25." And Billy goes, "My house is 2." And I said, "Where have I been sending my Christmas cards?" And Billy goes, "You send out Christmas cards?" And I was like, "Yeah, I've been sending out Christmas cards for 8 years." And he's like, "I've never once received a Christmas card from you. I've been sending Christmas cards to the wrong houses." And if at first this doesn't seem really funny, trust me, it's really funny because I take my Christmas cards so seriously. The pictures that I choose, the font, the style, the messaging. I put so much blood, sweat, and tears into these Christmas cards. So the fact that I then mail them off to the wrong place is absolutely amazing. Poor Hemplo. One year, I thought it would be really cute if on the back of the card, like where you seal the envelope, I put this like red and white tape so that it kind of looked like a package from Santa. Then, since I'm a mom, I was like, "Oh, let's make this a family business. I'll get Lennox involved." I was like, "All right, so take some of this tape, about 2 inches, cut it off, put it on the back of the envelope, right?" And the envelopes were already sealed. This was a decorative thing that he was doing, a decorative extra piece. So I foolishly leave him alone for 15 minutes and I come back. This haphazard botch job. This guy had not followed instructions. The tape was supposed to be centered both vertically and horizontally. He had it everywhere. He had it top left, bottom right, crooked, crumpled. Not it was I was like, Lennox, Lennox, what are you doing? Lennox, what did I say? I said across the center. Why did you do this? I was like, this matters. This doesn't matter. I looked into his little 4-year-old eyes and I said, "This is such a haphazard botch job. You know what I see when I look at these cards? You know what message you're giving me with these cards and this tape job? You don't respect Christmas. You don't respect me and you don't respect yourself. And I'm starting to think you don't have any Yuletide spirit. And now, if you'll excuse me, I have some letters to mail to the wrong address." And for anyone who noticed, yes, I did steal that respect joke from Richard Pryor. Not steal, honored. I honored him. It's one of my favorites. I had to use it. I'm not afraid to take a shot at my mom, but when she does something right, she does something really right. This woman understood how to create Christmas magic. We were Catholic, and technically, God was our Lord and Savior, but really, Larry Bird edged him out. My brother probably had 16 Larry Bird posters in his bedroom. It was ridiculous. The most altruistic thing I've ever done in my life concerns a Celtics game. My brother Johnny had fucked with me. I don't remember what he had done, but I was mad because I told my mom about it and I normally don't snitch. But I told my mom and he was in trouble, brought him down to the kitchen. And she was like, "All right, John, looks like no Celtics game for you tonight." And I wanted him to suffer. But the look on his face, his spirit was broken. I had to let him off the hook. Had to. Pain in his eyes. I didn't want to be associated with that. You get the point. The Celtics made our world go round. The bond deepened every Christmas when the Boston Celtics sent my family a personalized Christmas card. That's right. You heard me correctly. A personalized Christmas card from the Boston Celtics with all their pictures and all their autographs sent to our home amongst the aunts and the uncles and the grandparents and the neighbors and the coworkers. Sift through those cards and put them in the trash and just get that Boston Celtics card. And let's open it up and let's take in the glory. We kept all the Christmas cards in this wicker basket. I remember sneaking downstairs as a kid and grabbing the Boston Celtics card and just sitting there alone and looking at it. For me, the card was like the cup of Christ. I was enchanted and it held so much power. These are their signatures. They held this card. Larry Bird held this card and signed his name on it. Here's how it goes down in my head. Casey Jones walks into the locker room holding up the card. He says, "It's Christmas time. That means one thing. Time to sign the Kelly's card." Larry reaches for the card because he wants to sign first. And Robert Parrish says, "Whoa, whoa, whoa. You signed first last year. It's my turn this year." Then Kevin McHale stands up. He goes, "You are both sorely mistaken. It's my year to go first. Look, I wrote it in my locker. 1988, Kelly card, first one to sign." Now Bird's face is beet red, and he says, "If you don't shut the hell up, I won't let either of you sign." Then they charge each other, and fists are flying, and Bird starts choking Parrish, and he's like, "I don't love the Kellys as much as I do." And Danny Ainge is standing on a chair, and he's like, guys, can we have one year where we don't fight over the Kellys Christmas card? We are a team, goddammit. Of course, none of this happened. It was a mass-produced card sent out by the Celtics. My mom probably made a donation. But who cares? It was so real to me. It was so real to me. Even though now I know it's not real, I still remember how good it felt to think that it was real. And that was my mom's doing. Hats off to her.
The Kitty Kelly Show.
I need to circle back to this. I forgot to cover this in my haste. I was thinking about the name Rita and how that's a really important name in our family. My niece is named after Nana Kelly. Nana Kelly being the OG Rita Kelly. I am also Rita. My confirmation name is Rita. And it dawned on me that I don't know what Rita is the patron saint of. Normally, you're supposed to pick a saint who inspires you. But my dad suggested that I do Rita to honor my grandmother, and that was a no brainer. So I picked the name not knowing a single thing about Saint Rita. It's not a good story, kids. It's it's a rough one. First of all, without even getting into the details, the first line from Google reads, "Rita is the patroness of abuse victims, marriage difficulties, loneliness, and widows." Oh boy. She's essentially the patron saint of domestic violence and bad marriages. Though not her fault because it looks like her marriage was arranged. So that's on her parents. They chose unwisely. So this deadbeat's name is Paolo Mancini. He was known to be quick-tempered, immoral, and having many enemies. Why did they choose this guy? Their marriage lasted for 18 years, some of the highlights being his infidelities, physical abuse, and insults. So she's the patron saint of not being able to get out of a bad marriage. That's what it is. This all happened before divorce was a thing. All right. And then it looks like Paolo's life was cut short when he was betrayed and stabbed to death by Guido Chicchi, a member of a feuding family. Of course, this guy's involved in a feud. Then her sons tried to avenge their dad's death. Not sure why they were avenging the death of a guy who beat and cheated on their mom, but moving along, they never got around to it because they both died of dysentery, which I think is just a fancy word for diarrhea. So now the diarrhea brothers are gone. We know Paolo's out the picture. Oh, this is where the loneliness comes in. This must be where she earned the crown of loneliness queen. Now she decides to become a nun, very honorable, very nice, and they turn her away. The nunnery turns her away because they didn't want to be associated with her because of the scandal of her husband's violent death and because she wasn't a virgin. They were jealous. They were jelly. Haters. Haters. I can see this happening. I can see these nuns being like, get lost, slut. We've never gotten any. You can't hang out with us. And they wouldn't be wrong. I would also question her motives. Why the sudden interest? Is it because your husband's dead and your sons are dead and you were stay-at-home mom? I'm guessing you have no income, right? It does somewhat look like she was looking for free room and board. There, I said it. I said it. Oh my God. One more completely alarming and disturbing fact I just picked up. It says that on the day of her baptism, as an infant, obviously, her family noticed a swarm of bees flying around her as she slept. The bees peacefully entered and exited her mouth without causing her any harm or injury. Instead of being alarmed for her safety, the family was mystified by this sight. I would have been alarmed. If I had been her family member at the time, I would have been alarmed. That is some Candyman shit. I don't know if you've seen Candyman. It's the scariest movie that's ever been made, and it involves bees going in and out of a dude's mouth, and it's frightening. This was the scariest baptism ever. They paint this like a nice story. That's terrifying. Bees are terrifying. Go see Candyman. You'll never be quite the same.
The Kitty Kelly Show.
We had a good Christmas this year because it's the first time in a while that I haven't fucked up the gift wrapping situation. 2 years ago, I was so unprepared for Christmas that I had to lie to my kids about Christmas Day. And luckily, they're young enough that I could lie to them. So it's Christmas Eve. I'm not ready. So I just didn't tell the kids it was Christmas Eve. Of course, we were going to a Christmas Eve party. So when I got to the party, I had to quickly go around and tell everyone, my kids don't know it's Christmas Eve. Don't talk to them about Christmas. Don't mention Santa. Don't say anything. They think this is a regular Christmas party. We all need to be on the same page with this lie. We all need to be on the same page with this lie. And then last year, I finished on time, which is to say that I finished before Christmas morning, but I was up until 2 a.m. That was a nightmare. I don't recommend anyone to do that. My problem is that I always forget how long it takes. Every year, I forget that the year prior it took a long time. It's like the movie Total Recall, but it's zero recall. Every year, zero recollection of the year prior, where it took multiple hours to get all the wrapping done. But this year I remembered. I don't know how. Christmas miracle? Sounds like it could be. Because I remembered. And like 4 days before Christmas, I was like, I should start wrapping. That's a first. The incident last year actually had less to do with the wrapping paper miscalculation and more to do with a Nate Bargatze comedy special that came out on Christmas Eve. So I knew this special was coming out on Christmas Eve. And it was part of my grand scheme because I love Nate Bargatze. So I was like, this is the plan. Put the kids to bed, fire up Bargatze, get the presents out, get the wrapping paper out, get a little stoned, and have yourself a merry little Christmas Eve. Tale as old as time, I end up getting way more stoned than I intended, which I didn't realize at the time. I thought I was fine. So I'm watching this special, and none of the jokes are making me laugh. In fact, I'm uncomfortable. I'm having secondhand embarrassment. It didn't feel like he was telling jokes. They were just long, drawn out sentences. And I start having a low to mid grade bug out because I love this guy. I really love Nate Bargatze. I hadn't really thought about it, but if you had asked me, like, how many more years are you going to enjoy his comedy? I would have said, like, probably the rest of my life. Maybe like I've got another 40 to go. And now I'm watching this special and he's tanking. He's tanking. And I'm like, fuck, Bargatze peaked. He's over. He, I don't know how he peaked already, but he peaked. It's over. Whatever that spark was, he's lost it. He don't got it anymore. And this just sucks that I'm finding this out on Christmas Eve. This is like, I'm bummed out. I'm genuinely bummed out about this news. So that's when I start texting people. I start texting friends and family at 1, 2 in the morning to say, I've got bad news. Bargatze peaked. It's awful. This sucks. Which means that certain members of my family and some of my friends woke up on Christmas morning with a text from me from 2 a.m. saying, Bargatze's lost it. I'm gutted. Didn't see this coming. Period. It was all I could think about. And then I had a terrible night's sleep and I was cranky in the morning. And it wasn't until later on Christmas night that I rewatched it sober. And yeah, that was on me. I don't know what I saw the first time, but he still got it. He still got it. Everything's fine. False alarm. False alarm. These things happen. I'm such an overly emotional smoker slash person. I feel like a normal person would see a disappointing comedy special and it wouldn't even cause a blip on their radar. And it totally affected me and I was really sad and I like mourned the loss. I mourned the loss of a comedy career by myself and for no reason. Well, this is as good a time as any to stop. I've enjoyed this episode. I hope you did. I'll be back next week. I hope you're back next week and we'll talk then.